Al McMorty, and Ron Romanelli. We have other cappers coming in. I know Jovan might have some connection issues, but I saw him come on a couple times. Then he ducked out, and here comes Al Ninos onto the scene just in time for our show. And, of course, we're live every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, whatever it takes to get it done. Joe Madden's still under the weather. And basically, we told Joe, just take off until Monday. So we're going to retouch base with her on Monday, see exactly what's up, because you guys saw when she came on for the premium show the other day, not the best Joe Madden we've ever seen. That's for sure. It was like she looked like a sick version, which is still better than the rest of us look, which is pretty amazing. But it's like Joe always freezes well, like when she freezes on Skype. It's like she's always smiling. Maybe she's just smiling all the time. I don't know. But I'll tell you, the Hawks are smiling. Trae Young, taking it. That's what had to happen. That was their only chance. They recognized that, and they got it done. The Milwaukee Bucks saying, yeah, all those people on the Bulls, I don't think so. And then the Phoenix Suns, the same thing. Big Al said this was the best team in the NBA this year, and I think last night without Booker, well, at least they showed they can beat the Pelicans on the road. We learned at least that much. But today, 4 games in the NBA. 4 today, 4 tomorrow. I kind of like this format, but now we're kind of off a little bit because some guys are playing game 4, some guys are playing game 3. So, I don't know if that's fair. It's not fair. I'm not really sure, but it doesn't matter. We have zero to say about it. The NFL's playing 3 games on Christmas because it's on a Sunday, but you know what this means. We're going to be seeing 3 games on Christmas forever, just like Thanksgiving. That's basically what happened there. And we'll go to game 1. Toronto Raptors down 3-0 to the Philadelphia 76ers. A heartbreaker last time out. They have no one to blame but themselves, missing those free throws down the stretch. And then, if you put yourself in that position and the ball goes into the hands of Joel Embiid, there's a better than 50-50 chance he's going to beat you. There's a way better than 50-50 chance. Brian, what are the feelings in Philly here? Do they have the brooms out?
I think a lot of teams would have the brooms out, up 3-0. A lot of times the team, I wouldn't say quits, but their balloon gets deflated. I just don't think the Toronto Raptors are that kind of team. Maybe it's because I got burned by the Raptors a few times already, but I think that they're well coached and they're at home. I'm going to take the points here with the Raptors. I think they got one more game left in them. I think the Sixers are a little flat today.
Big Al, you think the Sixers just end it in 4, or you think it's I think they go back?
Well, first I wanted to just jump back to a comment you said. I said Phoenix was the best team. If I remember correctly, what I was trying to express last week was I thought Phoenix and Boston were kind of like 1 and 1A, but maybe Phoenix had the easiest path, to the championship. I mean, Boston has a little bit better efficiency numbers, but they're both the 2 best teams. Let's just say that.
Not the first time I've been accused of putting words in someone's mouth.
I could have easily misspoke as well. I'm not.
I'm sure I put the words in your mouth. I'm known for it.
But Phoenix would be my bet. As of last week to win the title, not as of this week. But Phoenix is going to have some problems against the Utah Jazz probably, or the Dallas Mavericks. Anyway, as far as this game goes, I wanted to look for a reason to try to get on the Toronto, because I agree with Brian. I don't think they're going to quit. The problem is that all the data supports Philadelphia. Teams up 3-0 are 55, 37, and 5 ATS. The game, I also want to look for a reason to try to take this game under the total, but the games when you're up 3-0, they tend to go over as well, 55 and 40 with 2 ties to the over. So I still lean to Toronto. I still lean to the under, but I wouldn't play either one, to be honest with you. Toronto's just really good off back-to-back losses, and I like Nick Nurse. I like their championship pedigree. I don't think they're going to quit, so it's a hard one for me. But all the technicals are all on Philly, but I wouldn't go there.
Ron.
Yeah, for me in this one, obviously Toronto in Game 3, pretty heartbreaker, like Mitch mentioned. They had every reason to win that game, and couldn't get it done in overtime. To me, in these type of Game 4 situations, what I've noticed a lot is either the team salvages a win and they can get it to Game 5, or it's an absolute blowout. And I think it's going to be either one of those here. I think if Toronto's going to cover the spread, you're going to see them win this game outright. But I honestly have a feeling this could be a double-digit win for the 76ers. Not a game I'm crazy about betting-wise, but if I had to take, I would take the Sixers laying the points.
Al Ninos.
Yeah, I mean, last two games have been really low scoring. I mean, even the last one went to overtime and still stayed under the total. But I think this one, I'll have to take the over on this one. Went way over in the first one, and I just think it's a little bit low.
All right, I kind of like the Raptors' chances here. I think they blew it last time out. I don't know. To me, it's like I thought they outplayed the Sixers for the bulk of that game, and I think they found a few answers there. And I don't know. I think they seem to be able to bait James Harden into taking the bad shots, and that's part of the key to beating the Sixers. He does take some bad shots, low percentage that he hits enough of them that he gets away with it. Anyways, Utah Jazz taking on the Mavericks. I was not surprised at all that the Mavericks crushed the Jazz in the last game. I gave it out money line in the premium, so I was not shocked one bit. The higher seeded team won the game. I mean, go figure. But anyways, Jazz now 6-point favorites in this one, up from 4.5. Is Luka playing? Is he not playing? Last time he said he was playing, he didn't play. Al Ninos, what do you think?
I think it sounds like, yes, he will play, but does it really matter the way these Jazz have looked? I mean, I thought they'd take advantage of his injury, but no, they haven't been able to do that at all. And if he plays, that's great for the Mavs, but there's only one way to look at this, and that's to take the Mavs. I can't lay 5.5, 6 points with the Jazz the way they've been playing. And as you said, the money line wouldn't be a shocker either, so I would put some on that as well.
Donovan Mitchell doesn't look the same. I don't know what's up with him. He does not look like the same guy that we've seen.
They have some good players on that team.
They do, but he just doesn't. He doesn't look the same. And I have to say that I think the Jazz have looked a little dirty in this series too.
It's funny because they're not the type of players to usually. I mean, they're the type of players that usually play well. I mean, together or with. I think they play well with pretty much anybody in the league. But it's funny what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely can't be back in the Jazz right now.
How about you, Ron Romanelli?
Yeah, the Jazz have probably been the most underperforming team. I mean, there's a few this season, but they're certainly one of them, especially against the spread. 27-33-1 against the spread. And, this is a type of game where I could see them getting the outright win. But like Al Nino said, I wouldn't want to be laying the points with them at this point. They're, if Luka does play, or even if he doesn't, we've seen the Mavericks are able to play without him. And, I think I would want to have the points in my pockets here. So I'll take the points with Dallas. I could see it being a 3 or 4 point win either way.
How about you, Al?
I've got a premium play on this, so I'll listen to what Brian has to say.
Brian, what do you think?
Well, I guess I'm going to dive into the total here because I think the premium is an easy call. I think too many people jump here on the over, seeing it's a real slow number, light number. I mean, I think it is going to be more like Game 1 where we've seen a super defensive game that the Jazz ended up winning. So I'm going to take the under 212.5. If Utah is going to win it, they got to turn up the defense in this game. And I don't think Luka's going to play. I don't think Luka plays.
I actually think Luka probably will play. The only thing about the total, Brian, is the last game went over the total by 36.5 points. And that's actually an indicator for another high scoring game. I don't like the total necessarily one way or the other, but games that go over by that much tend to continue to go over.
sticking with the Mavericks here. I'm going to take a money line once again, but I think with the points is the easy pick here. You're getting the better team, the higher seed, the hotter team with their best player back. I mean, the Jazz don't have it. They've resorted to dirty play, and that's usually when basically you're jumping the shark. And it's like when you resort to dirty play, and Rudy Gobert should be arrested. I mean, for the way that he's played. I mean, he should be arrested. It's terrible. It's a black eye on this sport, the way that the Jazz have played the last game especially. And I think they're intentionally trying to injure players. I do. I don't know. Luka plays. I think Dallas wins by double digits. I think they're fed up with these guys, and I'll tell you what, the Jazz should be seriously fined and suspended if we see the same things that we saw in the last game. It's disgusting. Anyways, sorry for sugarcoating it there. I mean, what do you guys think about the play in this series? I mean, do you think this is okay? I mean, I don't really know. I mean,
no, I never like dirty play. I mean, it doesn't matter what's on the line. You shouldn't be playing dirty.
I mean, do you think it is dirty? You think, I mean, guys, I don't know. I think it is. Anyways, I don't like it. Go with the Nets against Boston. This is interesting. Boston now the choice in the Eastern Conference, the betting choice, the odds-on favorite to go to the finals. The Nets were in that position a couple weeks ago, and let me take a look. I saw it this morning. Someone sent me an email with all the odds on this. I don't know who it was, but they always do. Let's see who it was. I can't find it. But Boston was the favorite at this point. We can get on the betting tools too. But the Nets back to the wall. I thought the Nets had a great chance in game one. Big Al sent me the text after that, after the Tatum layup. But the Celtics.
And are you going to say what I said?
No, I won't say it. But
okay.
Do you want me to? I can.
Sure, I don't care. What do I care?
The Nets needed to steal game one. I won't be surprised if Boston blows the shit out of them in game two. Everyone will get sucked in to bet on the Nets, and he was right on game two. And maybe I will be on Brooklyn too, but I probably won't. I will probably pass game two.
And I ended up passing, but I mean, it's like what I was saying on that, I mean, I had Brooklyn as my futures play back in November, and it was the worst pick. And, they're not going to get my money. I mean, fool me once, okay, but you're not going to fool me twice. They haven't played all year. Ron mentioned how Utah's underachieving, 6 games under 500 for their points for record. Brooklyn's 10-31 ATS at home. I mean, it's, they're disgusting. They're not getting any of my money in this series. If they get by Boston and if they get to play Milwaukee, then I'll be interested in Brooklyn again. But they have to prove it to me because they haven't done shit all year, and I don't want any part of this team.
Okay, Romanelli.
I agree wholeheartedly. No, I do think I think the Celtics are going to steal a game on the road, one of these next two, and for that reason, I think taking the points in this game is a good option here. Even if Brooklyn does win this game, I could see it as another 1 or 2 point final score. So having the points isn't a bad idea. But I honestly think the Celtics are going to win this game outright. They just showed me a lot more the whole season. I think they're the better team. And you look at the first 2 games, Boston won. Brooklyn shot, I believe, 45% or better from 3 in each of those games. They shot about 10% better from 3 than the Celtics did, and they still lost the game. Now, if you see those shooting numbers kind of regress a little bit more towards the mean, how bad is the score going to be after that? So I'll take the Celtics in the points.
El Niños?
Yeah, I was on the Nets money line, unfortunately, both games. So, yeah, the first one really stung. The next one we just took the beating, I guess. But it's tough. I mean, this line, I don't like it too much. But if I had to make a pick, I'd probably have to go Celtics money line. I just think that's where the value is. I mean, these are two very good teams, and I don't think the Nets are as bad as everyone else does. I think they're good. They're much better than their record indicates at home this season. This is not the Nets team we've seen all year, and they've been playing well. I mean, game one was really close, so this is a tough one, really. But again, sticking with the Celtics money line if I had to make a pick on this one.
Brian, the total for Kevin Durant points, 29.5 in this game. He has hit this 80% of the time. So what do you think?
I'd probably go under in that one because Boston has the best defense in the league in the NBA as far as I'm concerned.
Stopped them yet. They haven't
But the
stopped
Celtics better grab this one because we all know who's coming back in Game 4, Mr. Ben Simmons. So I think the Celtics they better get the W here. It might be over.
You mean he's not gonna play in Game 3? He's gonna wait for Game 4.
Now he's waiting just in case. He's coming out. He is a pussy. He is a pussy. As far as this game goes, I'm going to go under the total here, the 223. I think Boston, like I said before, they are the best defensive team in the NBA. I think the Nets, if they want to turn this series around, they got to play some rock solid defense. And I think this one goes under the 222.5, 223.
Actually, the Durant prop is actually under 80% of the time, under the 29.5.
Oh.
Yep. And it's
I'd
even.
be tempted to take the over, maybe.
Well, it's even money. Even money on the under, even though it's hit 80% of the time.
Yeah, I'd be tempted on the over then.
If I had to play this game, I would take Brooklyn, but I don't have to play it, so I won't. I mean, like I said, I can't. You know, they have to show me first before I get involved.
I like Brooklyn in this one. Celtics are soft, and I think that I think Brooklyn pushes them around here. I think they absolutely pummel them. It's going to be a tough crowd, tough day, and I think the Celtics, they haven't shown us that, you know, that they have that toughness. I think if the Nets, you know, if they get past the Nets this series, they're not going to beat the Heat. I mean, they will not beat the Heat. So the Heat are plus 700 to represent the East in the finals. That's where the value is right now.
Well, the winner of this series plays Milwaukee.
Right. But it's like you still have to go through Miami, and neither of those teams are going to beat them.
I don't mean you might have to go through Philadelphia. I mean, I wouldn't put Miami in the conference finals yet.
That's not going to happen. Well, they don't have Ben Simmons, so it is a possibility that they will be better. Oh, so now we have more people. I don't know how many people I can add here, so we're going to test. We're going to put this to the test. I'm going to add. Let's see. Oh, we did. This is a record. James Clark is sleeping. James, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
It's kind of like you're at a bad angle. It's like showing up your nose and your eyes look closed. We've lost Jovan, but there you go. Anyways, we're talking NBA here. We're on the third game. We got the Nets and the Celtics. What are your thoughts?
I heard Brian talk about the under. I like the under myself. You know, Boston with their D stepping up. You know, Durant hasn't been a scorer that, you know, we've seen up here. Like, you know, he's been shooting the ball terrible. You know, the playoffs, you know, supposed to be the best player in the world, and he hasn't showed up in the last two games that they played here. And I don't look for him to show up today, so I like the under 222 myself.
James Clark's been absolutely on fire in the NBA. I don't think you've missed a playoff game yet, have you? I mean, it's like I've been watching. It's like I don't think you've a handful, right?
Since Sunday, I'm 15-3.
Yeah,
since Sunday in the NBA playoffs.
That is amazing. It's when the stars come out, right, for the playoffs. Man, that is an amazing run. I don't know what percentage that is, but it's a good one. Anyways, we're on the last game now. It is the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. The Minneapolis meltdown. The whole thing. You know, the wheels came off the cart there in Minnesota the last time we saw these teams play. ESPN win probability with 51 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Minnesota had a 99.5% chance of winning that game, according to the win probability. Didn't happen for them. Brian, how about today in Minnesota? What do you think?
Oh boy, this is a tough one. I don't want to act like Al when you ask me a question. Not sure where I'm going to go, but in this one, I think I'm gonna stick with my Minnesota Timberwolves at home. I think they bounced back after that bruising home loss that they took last game out. Minnesota's just, I think they have the roster to match up well with Memphis, and you're getting points here with the home team. I'll take Minnesota.
Big Al, what do you think?
I'm not going to be much help to the audience here. I've got premium plays on both the side and the total. It's all wrapped up in a 3-game package with another selection. So, I'm 37-18, my last 55 in basketball. If folks want to buy it, they can check out that triple pack. So I'll just listen to what others have to say.
All right. Big Al going with the same game parlay on that one. It's the all new, very popular. I would say like kind of like the like how every year there's like a new vodka that comes out that's like the popular vodka. The same game parlay is kind of like the new vodka. That, and in baseball, the Nerfy, right?
Those are like, everyone keeps. But I'm not advocating parlays. I just
I know
bet the 3 games singularly.
Oh, of course. I'm just saying it for you. I'm just putting words in your mouth for you.
That's fine.
That's what I do. But we don't advocate parlay betting on this show or whatever. We have tools, we have parlays, whatever, for those who are into that sort of thing. But personally, it's like I probably bet 5 parlays a year. Ron?
Yeah, I actually had somebody comment on the rundown video today that they were parlaying all the picks. So 15 MLB play. Actually, it's 16 with a doubleheader. I'm flattered, but you're not going to win, unfortunately. But for this game, I'm going to lean towards Minnesota and the points. To me, this is a coin flip kind of game. I'm not impressed with Minnesota. To me, the Timberwolves, they kind of seem at times one-dimensional on both sides of the court. Seems like they can't buy a stop at times, like in the fourth quarter last game, and they can't buy a basket, and they only put up 12 points in that fourth quarter. So that doesn't necessarily impress me, but I do think these two teams are a pretty good matchup, and I think that's why the games have been pretty exciting thus far. So I'm going to take the Timberwolves and the points. I think it's just a coin flip game, so I'd rather have the points in my pocket.
Al Niños.
Yeah, kind of similar as the Sixers-Raptors game. You saw the first game go way over, then the next two go stay pretty much under the total, and I think this total again is a bit too high. So I'm taking a shot with the under here. Two teams that play at a very fast pace, but they do miss quite a few shots. So I like it to stay under.
James Clark.
I got a premium on this, but guys, I'll give it out because I got all the NBA playoffs, so I'm gonna give out one of my premiums. I like the Grizzlies tonight. When you hold a team to in 2 quarters to score 16 points in the second quarter and then 16 points in the fourth quarter, I think it kills the team. Like the Timberwolves had all the motivation, thought they had the game. I mean, you seen Towns when he was wired up, we couldn't wait to get back to Minnesota, like they done thought they had this game won. I think it's a heartbreaker for them. I think the Grizzlies come out, and I like the Grizzlies tonight with the points.
I think it's going to be a good one. I'm going to go against James Clark, which probably is why my NBA record is what it is this year. I just think the Timberwolves, I thought they played well in the games in Memphis, and I think they can play with these guys. So I think getting the points at home, I think if they lose, it's going to be close enough. I could see Memphis hitting the late bucket for the win, but I can't see them blowing Minnesota out here. Because they know everyone knows the situation here. It's a must win. But, it's never stopped the Timberwolves from getting routed before. Of course, if it wasn't for the Minnesota Timberwolves, I'd have a boat. Anyways, Brian, what are you selling today?
I'll tell you what, yesterday I got taken out to the woodshed, but I'm going to get some revenge today. I got my Super Saturday Revenge 3-pack, 2 NBA best bets, 1 MLB, my MLB best bet for $50 at PickDogs.com premium picks. I'm bouncing back today, for sure.
Big Al, what do you got?
I was 5-1 yesterday. On a nice little run. I mentioned earlier, 37-18 last 55 basketball, 27-11 last 38 baseball. That goes back to last season. I've only had 4 baseball plays this season. I'm 4-0. I hit my USFL total of the month yesterday. I've got another USFL play today. What else? And 2 hockey, 49-33 last 82 on the ice. So it's been decent lately. And I've got 7 plays total today, 3 in the NBA, 1 in the USFL, 1 in baseball, and 2 in hockey.
All right, Ron Romanelli of Ron's Rundown.
Yeah, with the rundown, I've been focusing on baseball lately and doing pretty well this season. Got 2 picks today in the MLB that you can get individually. You can grab my season pass or a long-term. One of them is a value shot play, which is going to be a plus money play, and the other one a money line slammer. Right now, we're number 1 in baseball, so looking to keep it rolling and making sure Brian stays off my trail.
So Ron has always kind of been an under-the-radar guy on our site. He's been around on the show. It's not like he's hiding anywhere. He's been out on the drive-through. He's been on this show often. He was on our morning show, and a lot of different morning shows that we've had, and but this is the first time that he's kind of like really stepped into the forefront with the rundown, engaging with our audience. What's it like with the YouTube audience, Ron? How is the engagement going?
Yeah, I'm really surprised at how well, this has been so far. I'm really enjoying the support that everybody's given me. So far, it's, the picks have been pretty good and the comments, mostly positive, a few jerks here and there. But, you just can't really, when you got so many people supporting you, you can't worry about those trolls. So, for the most part, it's been awesome and it's really nice to see the support.
Thicker skin than I do, of course. Ron knocked it out of the park with the rundown. I tell you, when we first came up with the concept and sat down, he was just like, I got this thing. And kind of let him run with it. So it's been all Ron's stuff. He was like, I'm going to start with, as easy as I can make it. And then, as I get more comfortable, I'll branch out, see what goes. And I'm interested to see where it's going to go and, see where we can go with it with other sports as well. Tie in maybe Ron's prop talk or prop shop or whatever you want to call it. Maybe do another one. And what we got, soon you'll be dropping out of school, be betting on sports like a normal person. Al Ninos, what do you think? What do you got today for sale?
I got a
number 1 on the leaderboard right now for the 7-day. Al Ninos, almost 2,000 units or something in the past week. Best week ever, Al?
Up there, definitely up there. If not, yeah, it's definitely up there. It's been a good run. 3-pack in the NHL, 3-pack in the MLB. Just 2 plays in the NBA, so no 3-pack there, but I do have a 3-pack with my best bet in each sport as well, if you want a bit of everything.
How about you, Jovan? What you have going on today at Pick Dogs?
I have a 5-pack going, 4 NBA plays, 1 Major League Baseball play, and then I got a smaller 3-pack, all NBA.
And James Clark, the NBA leader here, plus almost 2,000 units for the season on the NBA, 218 and 182. And as he said, 15 and 3 in the playoffs. That's crazy.
I got a 5-pack going on. I got all 4 NBA games and MLB games that I really love. And then I got a 3-pack of NBA afternoon games. I got all 3 of the NBA. So if you want the 5-pack, get all 4 games, or if you want the 3-pack and get all the afternoon games, they're there on pickdogs.com.
All right. I've got a MLB 3-pack, but I have a bunch of other picks, and I still have my bombs that I'm putting in. My Mitch's bomb plays. I have a few today that I really like. But so we go to baseball, and I know Al just wanted to stay for football, but I'm going to see if I could trap him here for a second. When we look at baseball, and I take a lot of heat in baseball. I mean, I take a lot of heat in general, but in baseball, I really take a lot of heat. And we look at the reason why I take a lot of heat is because I don't bet the Dodgers, right? This is why I take a lot of heat, because I don't take the Dodgers, right? I bet against Dodgers every single game. Every single game, I just bet against the Dodgers. I don't care. It's an automatic. I don't even look at who they're playing. Okay, so if you've bet $10 on the Dodgers this season, okay, every game, if you've bet $10, you've won $22.80 is what you've won if you bet the Dodgers every single game this season on the money line. Okay, they're 10-3. You've won 2 units. All it takes is one bad day at the office, and it's all gone, right? I mean, what do you think of my strategy? I mean, which was a great profit leader. They won 107 games. They went 107-55 last year. I made money betting against them every single game. 55 wins. 30% I hit. 33% betting against Dodgers. I made money.
I mean, it's, a couple of years ago, I took the Tampa Bay Lightning in their first championship, all 21 playoff games. I said they're going to win the championship. I didn't know which games they were going to win. I took them all 21 playoff games. They went whatever they went, 15-6, whatever they went. It's not a bad strategy. If you just have a thesis, you just execute it.
Well, the run line has been kicking my ass a little bit here on the Dodgers. They're up 4.5 units on the run line. So a little bit higher, but it is early going. And what we saw last year was they did start positive the same way that they started this year. But once they dipped below the Mendoza line, that was it. They never came back up for air. Not once all season long. And it just, because when you're winning $3. And when you're losing 10 every single time. So it's like it's very, very hard to do it, and you need to win 120 games.
No, you don't. It's the Dodgers are on the road. The Dodgers are going to be laying $1.40-ish on average, Mitch, $1.50. They're not going to be laying $2.20 every road game. So the Dodgers are their break-even point is. I mean, I'd have to do the math, but it's not 120 games.
Well, last year they won 107, and you lost about 6.5 units, winning 107 games. If you bet
which means the break-even point was 109, 108. I mean,
if you bet them on the run line, you lost 11 units last year.
Yeah, but if you go 120 and 42. That means you're
minus 200. That's the minus.
Well, no, that would be minus 300.
No, it's 200.
No, it's 300, Mitch.
120 wins
against 40 into 120 is 3 times.
Right, but it's at minus 200.
If you're minus 200, then it's the break. Minus 200 would be 2 out of every 3. So 162 divided by 3 equals. Yeah, so you're 108 and 54 is minus 200.
Then the Dodgers were more than minus 200 average last year.
No, not necessarily.
Because
depends on which games win and which games lose.
Well, that's true.
I mean, it all depends on the pattern of wins and losses and which games you're losing, right? But my guess is their average lay price last year, if I had to guess, would probably have been around, just a guess, $1.60.
I'm going to continue to bet against them. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm going to reverse.
It's not a bad strategy.
Yankees and Dodgers, the 2 worst bets in baseball. If you bet against those 2 teams every single time, you will make money. It's, and the Cubs, of course.
I don't know. The Dodgers' home record has been pretty spectacular over the last couple of years.
It has, which just shows you how those big odds on the road have just crippled, Dodger bettors. They are off to a hot start, but I guess we can look at this deeper. We have all the numbers at the website. that kind of go over the entire progression of the season, and you can see the dip and where it happened and how they were never able to come back up for air, and you can see the odds on every one of those games that were part of it as well. So we have all the documentation, at least last season. And I know if you go back to the strike shortened season, or not strike short, the COVID season of 60 games, in that season you made money with the Dodgers. Not much, but you made with them in the shortened season because they went like 48-12 or something.
I just like to pick my spots. I mean, I've only had 4 plays so far this baseball season, but one was on the Dodgers minus $1.21, against the Braves, which I was thinking that the price dictated that play. I mean, you've won 20 out of 21 regular season home games. You're laying $1.21 at home, and you've got, going against Charlie Morton, who wasn't in good form. I thought the Dodgers were a steal in that game.
Braves are a second half team. They were last year too. Second half team. Max Fried, he was like 6 games under 500 at the halfway point last year with like almost a 6 ERA.
But you also have the championship hangover. I mean, you have no idea how they're going to react to that.
Well, I think when they get Acuna Jr. in there, they'll probably recover a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Boy, I tell you, so many good young players in the game, and I know Ron does the rundown like we already said, but Ron, how about this young generation of players? It's like, Soto, you got Franco, I don't know what you call him, the guy on the Rays. You say tomato, I say Franco. We've got, Acuna Jr., you've got, just everybody's got these guys now. Everyone's got a young guy. The A's put in this guy the other day that, he ran around the bases so fast. I've never seen anything like it. And then, you got Bobby Witt Jr. on the Royals, who is really just getting started too. I think, coming in as a more known commodity like that, he's not seeing a lot. They're kind of like, oh, we figured this guy out, but I'm sure he seems like the type of guy will probably figure them out. His dad was a great player too. I don't know. It's like, who are the top 2 or 3 up and comers, you think, here?
That's a tough one, yeah. It's definitely the least getting younger. The players that I grew up watching, they're definitely making their way to the retirement home. But guys like Tatis and Acuna, they battled injuries early on, but I still think they're extremely talented. I think personally Juan Soto is going to be the best player in the league for quite some time. I think he's going to win a few MVP awards, and I think he's just the best hitter right now in baseball, natural hitter. Gets on base at, he hasn't had an on base percentage lower than 400 in his career, and it's usually 450 or plus or more. Got some power, but not a ton of power, but 30 plus homers, 100 RBIs, hit 300, and he's working on his fielding as well. When he first entered the league, he wasn't a great fielder, but he's a lot better now. Has a good arm, so I think Juan Soto is the player to watch out for the next 10 years.
All right, well, let's get it started here with baseball. Got 3 early games, and that's the Giants and the Nationals, the Yankees and the Guardians, and the Tigers and the Rockies. Game 1, 9-inning game this year for the doubleheaders. Brian, any of these 3 jump off the page at you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to pull a page out of Mitch's playbook and play the Giants minus 2.5 here with Alex Wood. He's been pretty consistently good this year. And Anibal Sanchez, I don't know. I think he's set up to get his butt kicked today by the Giants. And it's hard for me to resist taking the Cleveland Guardians, but I'm going to take the plus 1.5. Cortez has been pretty lights out for the Yankees. 17-1 strikeout to walk, I believe. So I think it's a 1-run game, but I think the better bet's probably taking the Giants to kick the Nationals' butts today.
Big Al, any opinion on these 3?
Yeah, I'm going to echo what Brian just said, but slightly different. I like the Guardians plus the 160.
How about you, Ron?
Yeah, I can get behind that butt kicking that Brian mentioned with the Giants. It's been back and forth with Aaron Sanchez and Anibal Sanchez for the Nationals projected starter. Either or, I think, is a home run derby for the Giants. I don't trust either starter. I'd honestly Aaron Sanchez walks a ton of batters. Anibal Sanchez gives up a ton of homers. I think the Giants' bats gets both of them. So I like Alex Wood on the mound. And the Nationals have struggled against left-handed pitching. So I'll lay 2.5, 3.5 even with the Giants.
How about you, Al Ninos?
I like the Giants. Yeah, -1 for me. I mean, if you want to go for plus money, sure, knock yourself out. Yeah, Yankees haven't been great this season, but if I had to bet this game, I'd take them -1 as well. But I haven't bet it, so yeah. I guess I do like the Cleveland's chances, but I just think Yankees win though.
Jovan?
Question: who is the pitcher for the Guardians? Is it this rookie or is it
Quantrill.
Quantrill. The rookie. I thought it was gonna be the rookie too, but it's Quantrill.
So I would go with the under in that game myself, and then I would take a flyer on the Rockies.
How about you, James?
I'm sticking with everybody else with the Giants here. On the run line, the Giants have been killing the ball, been playing good this season, and I look for them to kill the Nationals today.
I like the Guardians on the reverse run line here. I think they smashed the Yankees, and I think that's where all the value is. No reason not to play it. I think Cortez has pitched well, but to me, baseball is a game where you play to the back of your card, and his card doesn't say 0.0, and it's not going to Blutarski this season. So the Yankee bats, they haven't been really that great so far this season either, and I think it's well worth taking a value shot there. I think for if you're shy about it, or if the reverse run lines aren't your thing, I think the plus 165 or even the plus 1.5 are all fine in this game. But I could see a low scoring game there at the stadium because Yankees bats just haven't been doing it. At least not
the
my
over-under is down to 7.5 runs now, Mitch.
Did you see? Oh yeah, look at that. The total 7.5 and nothing. So the wind must even be blowing in. I'll tell you, the throw by Stanton yesterday to gun the guy at third was ridiculous, though, right? I mean, that's something special. Anyways.
So I'm going to jump, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, Al, for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Hope make it a winning day.
Adios, guys. Good luck.
Good luck, Miguel.
Thanks, James.
All right. We'll continue to roll on here with the next set of games. We go to the Pirates and the Cubs, the Phillies and the Brewers, and the White Sox and the Twins. Brian, what do you think of these three?
No, I think I give out free picks at all of them. There's no reason to jump off the Pittsburgh Pirates here. I know Hendricks is typically a little stronger in Chicago, but I think the Pirates keep rolling. They have a penchant for beating up the Cubs, and I like my boy Dylan Bundy on the mound, 2-0, 0.87 ERA going against a pedestrian Vince Velasquez and a White Sox team that struggles on the road. I'll take the Twins here, and then I'll go with the Milwaukee Brewers plus money. I just think Wheeler's something's wrong with him. I think this line's too high for the Phillies and Wheeler. I'll take the plus money Brewers, even with Hauser on the mound.
Romanelli, what do you think?
Yeah, Vince Velasquez, he's usually an auto fade for me, but I do think the weather in Minnesota paired with the way that the Minnesota bats have struggled, he may get off the hook in this game a little bit. I still like the Twins overall, but I also like the under. Both teams' offenses have really struggled against right-handed pitching, especially the White Sox. They're actually second worst in the league. So, and Dylan Bundy's looked pretty good for the Twins. So I'll take the under, lean towards the Twins, and I like the Pirates as well. I just don't see how you could lay that kind of price with Kyle Hendricks in his current form right now. Zach Thompson, a guy that struggled so far this year, but he pitched really well in spring and with the Marlins last season. So I have a feeling he's going to be able to figure it out. But the wind is really blowing out to the outfield, so I expect a good amount of runs in this game. That's why the total's set at 10.
Jovan, what do you think? These three.
Yeah, I like that plus money with the Pirates. Kyle Hendricks not looking too hot for me on this year, and what Dylan Bundy did in his last start against the Red Sox, who he doesn't have good numbers against, it's kind of eye opening. So, I like the Minnesota Twins today.
How about you, Al Ninos?
This is crazy, but I think I like the Pirates too. I think my best play though on the board would have to be the Brewers. And in that Twins White Sox game, I don't know, you're a White Sox fan, Mitch. What's going on over there in Chicago? I would love to back the White Sox here, but yeah, it's a tough one.
They've never been a good road team. They've never been a good road team, and last year was the first year that they were about 500 on the road in a while. If you look back the last few seasons, if they would have been 500 on the road, they would have won the division every single one of those years. So there's nothing wrong with the White Sox. Just they got to get to 500 on the road in order to get it done, because at home they're killers. So I mean, that's really the issue there. Vince Velasquez is certainly not a solution.
Yeah, again, you talked about numbers. Wow, Bundy, 0 points, lots of zeros here in his numbers. I don't think he is gonna keep those up for too long either. So might be a good spot for the White Sox to turn things around. But again, I think Brewers my best play, then Pirates, then maybe a little shot on the White Sox.
James Clark.
I like the Twins today. Bundy, like everybody's talking, been pitching solid, and these White Sox, they struggle against the Twins. It don't matter who's out there on the mound. And I like the Twins today, and also I like the Pirates on the reverse run line here. I think Hendricks last time I backed Hendricks, he got blowed off the mound, and I look for the Pirates to do the same thing to him today.
I'm with you on the Pirates. I've said it all week with Brian on the morning show that the Pirates own the Cubs at Wrigley, and they've shown it once again. I have pictures of myself, like I told Brian, like we talked about on the morning show this week, at Wrigley Field, standing in front of the scoreboard at a Cubs-Pirates games with the Pirates pounding runs on the Cubs, and even on some of the good teams. I'll tell you, I was at a game where Charlie Morton just mowed them down. This is before, he's the Charlie Morton of today, but he absolutely just destroyed the Cubs one day when I think it was like 11-0. But anyways, yeah, I like the Pirates as well, so maybe that one is a danger spot since we all like them. It's a great sign. I like the Brewers on the reverse run line also against Zach Wheeler, who's just the most overrated sack of crap, this side of, I don't know.
He's not a sack of crap.
He's terrible.
He has an injury that's probably not out there.
Well, yeah. Well, he's pitching with it, so he is what he is. Your numbers are your numbers, and he's got Aaron Nola type numbers, and that's not a good thing. I don't mean that in a good way.
But he's not a sack of crap.
Well, Aaron Nola is a 4-inning pitcher. Well, for $500,000 worth of ball game last time out for Zach Wheeler, he lasted 3 innings. 8 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned. He didn't even hit this is the worst. When you give up,
he was an NL Cy Young contender last year, and he an all-star.
He didn't win it. He didn't win it because he choked down the stretch when his team needed him most. He lost every game. Now, what happened is that what happened here is though, when you give up 8 hits, 7 runs, right, 7 earned, and you give up 7 runs without giving up a home run, you're getting your ass kicked, okay?
Yeah,
and that's pretty much what happened there. If you give up 7 runs without giving up a home run, you're just getting slaughtered out there. You're out there begging for mercy. 66 pitches of pure hell is what that was. It's like he's just looking, he's probably looking at the dugout, like, get me the hell out of here, Just get me out of here. Anything. He's tapping out. He's a quitter. I'll tell you, if they didn't get him out of there, the Marlins would still be up. They'd still be up. They didn't get him out of there, they'd still be hitting. Still be hitting.
Back. He'll be back.
Yeah.
I agree about this game, though. Brewers all the way.
Maybe I kind of like the Phillies then. I like the over in that White Sox Twins game. I think Bundy gets absolutely shelled here. I think the White Sox come out of it. Bundy, he's not a 0.0 guy. The only time Bundy is ever effective is when they call the low strike for him, and they've been giving him the low strike so far this season. He's not this good. We know Bundy. We've seen Bundy. He's not Nolan Ryan. He's not Greg Maddux. He's not,
Does he have to be?
He's not DeGrom. He's got DeGrom type numbers, but he's not. He's not.
We know that it's not going to last that long. He just pitched well. I mean, it's not like he hasn't pitched well. He's obviously not going to stick to a .87 ERA.
I think he'll end up on the Phillies. Is what's going to happen with Bundy, but that's my prediction.
He's a solid back end.
I'll tell you who's going to the Phillies is Joey Gallo. That's who's going to the Phillies because that's their guy. Joey Gallo, 100 strikeouts in a month is Phillies. And it'll be Wheeler on the other end of that trade too. I could see it. Any idea where Gallo's going, Romanelli? What the rumors have? They said he's going this week.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't.
What do you think, Wheeler?
Phillies would be interesting, though.
Zach Wheeler? Another guy?
That would never happen because the Phillies need starting pitching. They have plenty of crappy outfielders.
I know, but you're talking about one of the worst organizations in all of sports.
Phillies?
Yeah. I would say the Dolphins are right there with them.
And the Reds.
I'd say, well, the Reds are small market, so they don't really have a choice, with a lot of their moves. The Reds are a small market team, so very hard to compete, when you don't have the money coming in that
Tell that to the Rays. Teams.
I think he goes back to Texas. They give him some crappy starting pitcher.
The Rays have about $5 in the offseason, and they make it work. They stretch it out.
So what are you trying to say?
There's no excuses for David Bell.
Yeah, he is terrible. He is hideous. It's like he puts in like the reliever that's going to get crushed like more often than anybody else, right? I mean, it's like he always finds that one guy that's going to really just get bombed. He takes the close game and he might not be around that much longer.
No.
I agree with you guys, though. I love the White Sox today. I would probably lay a couple runs on top of it.
I think you're dreaming.
How about that performance by Keuchel the other day?
Oh, yeah.
Woo! It got it all out of his system.
I'm upset because now I don't think I'm going to be able to fade him for much longer.
He's
taking heave-ho.
Kidding? Brian's ready to bet him. He's that bad.
I don't think so.
Oh, who was the guy last night that I was like, oh man, Biller's gonna be betting this guy next time. Anyways,
that's the problem with the White Sox. Their back end of the rotation is so bad. So
they have some guys. They got some guys. I don't know how they let Rodon get away. That really.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, that was bad.
I would worry about them. That rotation actually is pretty hideous, if you ask me, especially with Giolito out and having to bring in Jimmy Lambert. I think Lambert, Keuchel, and Velasquez could be just easy losses.
Wow.
And Cease is not really that sharp either.
They can make Bundy look like the Cy Young today.
Wow, Ron, we're going to call it Ron's run over of the White Sox. It's no more the run down. He's running them over.
Plus, Tim Anderson can't field a ground ball.
Well, at least he had the kind words for the fans.
Really picking on the White Sox today. I like it.
It's okay. It's all right.
I love the White Sox.
You don't win championships in April. That's for sure.
They'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, the lineup is too good.
It's okay.
You could definitely play yourself out of contention, though.
You can, but the White Sox haven't done that. They're just 6-7. They're not like, they're not way
Not in
out.
that division.
Not in that division.
They have a 5-game losing streak. That's all it is. They started out hard.
Well, they're all on the road. All on the road. 2-5 on the road. So they're
They got swept at home by the Guardians.
They do not play well against the Guardians.
Actually, that was on the road.
That was on the road.
That
It was on the road. Yeah, they've lost 5 in a row, all on the road. Got the Oakland A's or Athletics. It's your call. Whatever you feel like calling them. Up against Martin Perez on the all Bittler 5-man rotation.
I've never taken him.
I love the way Martin Perez is pitching. Urquidy up against Manoah in Houston. Boy, the Astros got out to that 3-0 lead last night and could not hold on. How about the way Vladdy Jr. motors around the bases? Did you see that, man? For a big guy, wow, that was pretty impressive, I thought. And then the same Cincinnati Reds that we were talking about. Can they stop the bleeding here? They got Dakota Hudson serving for the Cardinals. If they don't get him here, they're never going to get him. James Clark, what do you think?
To me, I like the over in the Blue Jays games here. Both these teams, got some offense and some good hitters. I see a lot of runs on the board with the Blue Jays and the Houston game here. It's really the only one I really like out of those three.
How about you, Al Ninos?
Yeah, ugly pitching matchup, but even harder to back the Reds, I think. I don't know. I gotta go with the Cardinals, I guess, just by default till the Reds turn things around. I mean, they're obviously not gonna lose all their games, but just can't back them right now.
All right, Jovan.
Yeah, I could back the over in that game, even though the wind's blowing in from right field. At least that's what it looks like. Yeah, I'm gonna take the over in that one. Someone's gonna serve it up.
Home run prop? Any home run props for that one?
Oh. No, I don't do home run props. Don't have enough time to look at those.
All right. Well, check out the betting tools. We do it.
Oh,
We do the work for you. How about you, Ron? What do you like here?
Yeah, I think this is the spot. If the Reds are going to win and end that losing streak, this is it. Like Jovan mentioned, the wind is blowing in. Last night, the game was low scoring only because of that wind blowing in. If the wind was blowing out like it usually is at Great American, that could have been a really high scoring game. But with Tyler Mahle in the mound, he usually struggles at Great American. But I do think the weather is going to be his best friend, and the fact that he actually does have a pretty good strikeout rate this season, hasn't given up a home run. I think he has a sharp performance here, and Dakota Hudson can't back him. The Reds bats have been really struggling, but this is the spot. If they can't win this game, then they might not win a game the rest of the year. So give me the Reds on the money line.
Bittler.
Well, the Reds at -115. It can't even go into that one. Just that game screams to you. Oakland Athletics, I think, are an obvious play with Freddie Montas on the mound. Martin Perez is absolutely awful. I think Oakland bounces back, gets the W. I could see Mitch doing a reverse, alternate run line here. I think the Oakland A's really beat them up. And Houston Astros at home. Astros are a good, tough home team. I think they bounce back and get the Blue Jays. Urquidy, I think he's due for a good start. Manoah is Toronto's best starting pitcher, but I just think there's too much love here for Toronto. Houston's a good team. I'll take him at almost no juice at home.
All right, let's see if we can make some excuses here for the Cincinnati Reds. They're 2-12 on the season, but this is only their 4th home game of the year. So they did start the season with the West Coast road trip. Not the easy West Coast teams either. It wasn't like at Arizona or something, So we got to give them a little bit of a break with that. And, they lost Castellanos and Winkler, which appears to be a big issue here because they're not scoring any runs. Castellanos did he win the MVP, or he was definitely up there in the voting last year?
Harper was the winner, but he was up
God,
there.
why? It's like, how does Bryce Harper win the MVP?
Well, he had like 40 home runs, 130 RBIs.
Yeah, but his team was straight ass. His team was straight ass, and it was his fault. Anyways, I think the Reds' bigger problem than the pitching and the managing of the bullpen is those two guys' bats missing in the middle of that lineup. But Dakota Hudson can solve a lot of problems for an offense. He's He's got a cool name, but that's about it, right? It's kind of a cool pitcher's name. Dakota Hudson's in there. Sounds like what's her name? Dakota Fanning, right? Actress. Yeah, similar to that. Malley, well, he is what he is. He can be dominating at times, but normally it's on the road. Great American is the second best hitter's ballpark in all of baseball, behind Coors. Short porch. When they built the stadium, they built it for Ken Griffey Jr. to break the home run mark. That's why they built it like that. Never happened. Anyways, J.P. Fryerson's getting the ball here for the Rays up against Garrett Whitlock. Woo, that's full price admission for that one. Got the Detroit Tigers game 2. Bo Brisky, this is our guy, right? 27th round draft choice, 802nd player taking the draft. This is the second bomb pitcher that we've seen in baseball this season. The other one was Aller, who really hasn't been a very good experience. But I think Brisky actually could be the better of the two. This guy, they're calling this one of the best scouting stories of the year, is this Brisky. 27th round, 800.
In 2019. And it was only 3 years ago, 27th round. And now he's already up to the majors.
802nd pick. And it's not like Aller, who was picked by somebody else, kind of floated around and then went somewhere. This guy was picked from the Detroit organization, who is the same guys that, I mean, look at the pitchers they've brought us in the past. So they like this guy a lot. He would not be in the majors if Manning and Mize were healthy right now. And it's kind of like Manning last year, came up a year earlier than they had hoped. And they're the same with Brisky, but Brisky is not looked at like a 27th round draft choice in the organization. He's way up there as far as prospects go. And here he is, 3 years, like Ron said, 3 years removed from being the 27th round, 802nd player taken, starting against Austin Gomber, of all people, in Detroit. It's Miggy's day. Is he going to do it early? Is he going to do it late? He's going to do it, right? He's going to get 10 at-bats today. 8 to 10 at-bats. The greatest player of our generation, Miguel Cabrera. I know Romanelli thinks it's Jacob deGrom, but it's not.
No.
Miggy.
I said pitcher-wise deGrom, but I still don't even know about that anymore because he's getting a little on my nerves with the injuries. But Miggy, in terms of positional players, yes.
Best hitter. Best pure hitter. We'll give him that.
Other than Ichiro, then yeah.
You think Ichiro really had the total package the way that Miggy does, though? 500 home runs.
Yeah,
3,000 hits.
When you say pure hitter, though, I think of just getting on base via getting a hit.
That's Tony Gwynn.
Yeah, like Rod Carew, Tony Gwynn. I think Ichiro.
Ichiro plays.
I would take of those three. I'd take Ichiro first, then Carew, then Gwynn last of those three.
Really?
Yes, definitely in that order. I think Ichiro was a better base runner than all of them. Also better defensively than all of them.
Ichiro had a cannon.
Carew kind of Tony Gwynn got a lot of cheap hits, and he got like a lot of ones where it was like his team needed him to do other things, and he kind of just went for the batting title. But Rod Carew also, he didn't have any protection in that lineup either. You know, he had that open stance. He's way open. It was kind of like you could just. It was almost like, but I would say the better hitter of all of those guys was Wade Boggs. Wade Boggs is the best hitter I've ever seen. As far as a guy like that, he's the best there's ever been. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a better like hitter guy like that can just make contact and put the ball in play and get a hit when you really need it or whatever. And know exactly where he's going to hit the ball.
Opposite field,
anything. Wade Boggs would talk about how he didn't like the pitch, so he would just foul it off intentionally.
Oh, don't forget about Pete Rose. Come on.
I'd take Wade Boggs over him too.
Pete Rose is pretty good with the stick.
I think Pete Rose played a lot longer than Wade Boggs. A lot longer.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He played a lot longer than most players.
A lot longer, but I think Wade Boggs, It's. I mean, you could sit there at a game. He could. I mean, you want to talk about going deep into the count, and you want to talk about like what they call the good at bat now, when the pitcher's throwing 10, 11 pitches. Wade Boggs, seriously, he wouldn't like a strike in that area. He would just foul it off to the side intentionally.
A very low strikeout guy.
Low strikeout. Except I did see Dave Righetti pitched a no hitter against the Red Sox. He struck out Boggs on 3 pitches to end the game. He had 1 walk in that game. He struck out Boggs on 3 pitches to end the game. That's what you call a dominating performance. But Boggs was a super low strikeout guy, and he was a way better hitter than any of those guys that you mentioned.
He didn't get the credit that he deserved. But back then in the '80s, yeah, couldn't get any better as far as a hitter than him.
And what's his?
But then, they didn't really value home runs like that back then. I mean, they valued them, but it wasn't like how it became in like the '90s and 2000s when all that stuff was going on.
329 career hitter, Wade Boggs. 328. His last season, he batted 301. In his retirement year, he batted 301, and it wasn't like he didn't play either. 90 games, 292 at bats. Still batted 301. Very last season, 368, 357, 363, 366, 361. Those are monster years. I mean, all-star almost every single year. I don't know, and I'm not even a Red Sox guy. Not even close. But this guy was unbelievable. He ate chicken before every game. That was the thing.
Well, Tony Gwynn was a lifetime 338 hitter, so he was right up there with him.
But how many doubles did Gwynn have? How many home runs did he have?
Oh, he was pretty quick in his youth, Tony Gwynn.
How many RBIs did he have? How many of the other stuff did he have? I think Tony Gwynn got a lot of cheap hits. I really do. Those infield hits, stuff like that. Wade Boggs was like a surgeon out there. Carew, too. Of all those
319
guys.
stolen bases for Gwynn.
I don't know. Give me Ichiro over him as far as running the bases, too. Ichiro's like a triples guy. It's like, everyone's thinking double, he's thinking triple. He had motor. And also the glove on Ichiro. I've seen him at White Sox games, half-price ticket night, sitting way back in that outfield corner. Oh, my God. Unbelievable plays. It was like, every time. All right. Anyways, I agree with you guys. Ichiro out of those 3, and then Wade Boggs above all of them.
No, Ichiro is awesome, but I would put Gwynn just slightly above Boggs. But
Tony Gwynn is better than Wade Boggs. On what planet?
Well, because he could steal a base. I don't think Wade Boggs could steal a base. So.
I mean, that was early in his career because he got
a little slow.
Gained a lot of weight after a few years. He wasn't stealing many bases.
No.
How about the walks? How many times was Wade Boggs walked?
I guess they're both awesome players. You can't remember.
Wade Boggs, 125 walks with the 366 average. I mean, that's crazy. You don't see that anymore. Those are like Barry Bonds type numbers. Anyways, Bo Brisky's playing today. He's the 802nd player taken in the 2018 draft. We got Ian Anderson. Not the same Jethro Tull Ian Anderson. Different one. Hey, Aqualung. And we've got Humberto Castellanos on the mound for the Diamondbacks, who were my biggest letdown of all the teams that I lost yesterday, which I got shellacked yesterday. But all of them, it was Castellanos. And the Mets have the audacity to throw Trevor Williams here, and he's a minus 160 pitcher all of a sudden. I don't know. Bittler, Trevor Williams, minus 160 for you.
That's craziness. So I'm going to get back on the Diamondbacks.
Lunacy.
They hurt my soul yesterday, Arizona. I went to bed very upset last night, but I'm going to take Arizona again today. I don't think Trevor Williams should be minus 150 to 160 any day of the week. And I'm going to take my boy Bo Brisky. He's my type of pitcher here. I think the Tigers rally behind him and get the W at this low juice number. I'm going to be a little worried if the Tigers win game 1 that game 2 won't be as meaningful, but I'll back the Tigers on money line.
I got it. There's a different Tony Gwynn. There's another Tony Gwynn. There's not just that Tony Gwynn.
Well, Tony Gwynn Jr., his son played.
Is that who it is?
He played for the Dodgers.
All right, here's the other Tony Gwynn. Yeah, he never had walks like Boggs did. Not even close. Not even close. He did bat 370 one season, but 394 too. Wow. 394.
He had some seasons, some high batting average seasons. That's for sure.
All right, how about George Brett against these guys then?
I like George Brett, but I'd rather have Tony Gwynn and Wade Boggs.
Then George Brett?
I know that's true.
Oh my God. You're just here to have an argument. I mean,
yeah, I would choose the opposite.
Because Brett had the 390s also, and the home runs.
I'd probably take Mike Schmidt at third base.
Also, George Brett. I mean, whatever.
All right, we could argue all day.
Give me Ichiro.
George Brett, Robin Yount. Give me all. I all day. All right. Where are we at? Who's up? Romanelli? Did you go?
Sure. I like Bo Brisky as well. Even if the Tigers do win game 1, I'm not really worried about. I mean, every game is meaningful, so I don't think they would take their foot off the pedal. Brisky, double-digit strikeouts per 9 in the minor leagues. Austin Gomber, a guy I thought was going to have a big year this year, but he's really struggled to start the season. The walks are up, the strikeouts are down, and until he changes it, I got to take the Tigers here in game 2. And that Mets game is so strange. The Mets opened up as like a minus 120 favorite, but the line's gone up and up and up. And I just don't understand how Trevor Williams could be a minus 150, 160 pitcher. But, I think it just goes to show how bad this Diamondbacks lineup is. They were able to manufacture a few runs last night, but I don't know. I think the Mets are probably going to take this game. So I'll lean on the Mets on the money line.
Jovan?
Yeah, so looking at this Miami Atlanta game, and even though these pitchers don't have good numbers, their last starts were both decent. So I'm gonna lean towards the under in that one. And the Red Sox, they pulled out a win yesterday. Didn't really expect it, but I think they have an edge in this one as well. So their bullpen's pitching well, so I lean towards the Red Sox as well.
Al?
I like the Braves, -1. And then that's probably my favorite one there.
How about you, James?
Also, I like the Braves also -1. And I also like the Mets and the Diamondbacks to go over the total here. I know, but the teams have been struggling hitting, but these two pitchers on the mound, I see a bunch of runs scored tonight or today.
I like the Marlins here against the Braves. They've played well traditionally against the Braves, and especially in Atlanta. And Ian Anderson, I think. He's vulnerable, It all just depends. I think he's good. I don't think he's as good. We saw him against the Reds earlier, and he kind of got hit around a little bit, right? I think one of the Reds' wins was against Ian Anderson. We could isolate it down because they've only got 2 of them. So I think he's vulnerable, and the stat here is that the Braves haven't covered the run line, what is it? They haven't covered the run line twice in a row, like in 78 years or something. So I don't know. I think the door's open there. I like the way Hernandez pitched last time out too. I thought he was effective. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't. I have no idea, but he won. Taking the Marlins. I think there's too much value there for me to pass up. I just hate favorites in baseball. I just can't stand them. It's really what it kind of comes down to for me, right? Yeah, Hernandez last time out, 6 hits, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 5 strikeouts, and the 1 run he gave up was a home run. But that was against the Phillies, so it doesn't really count. It's kind of asterisks. I like Bo Brisky. I like the story. I like Gomber, though, too. These are 2 of my guys going at it. Gomber's better at home than he is at home. I'm going to go with Humberto Castellanos on spite alone. I just can't bet on Trevor Williams. He's done me dirty. He has one of those flat fastballs. It's like when it just flattens out and just gets crushed. Anyways, you garbage back on the mound here for the Padres against Tyler Anderson for the Dodgers. Got Matt Brash on the mound for Seattle against Kansas City. If Kansas City couldn't win last night, as sure as hell he got to win tonight. And they were pathetic. And then pathetic.
Bunch of losers.
And then yesterday on the show, I gave out the Orioles on the reverse run line yesterday on the show. So hopefully you guys watched that one. Brian and I were both on it. At least we got one right. And up here against Noah Syndergaard, though, minus 275 for the Al Ninos types out there. And the thing about him is that the Orioles haven't won back-to-back games since the Eisenhower administration. James Clark, what do you think of these 3?
I like a home run prop in the Angels game here. I like Mike Trout to guess a home run. I know, everybody expects him to hit a home run every time. That's why you're getting plus 230 or plus 300 when every other guys are plus 400, plus 500 to hit a home run. But I really like him to hit a home run tonight. And I like the Dodgers tonight too also, or today, against San Diego here. I just think they're the better team, and I look for the Dodgers to get it done.
How about you, Al Ninos?
Yeah, very tempting, that Angels line. But speaking of one of the best players ever, where do you rank Ohtani? Is he in your anywhere on your radar there?
He just doesn't have the body of work to put him in the discussion at this point. These other guys that we mentioned are 10, 15-year plus guys. All the other guys that we mentioned in the list. I would say he certainly has that type of potential, but it's like we all know, one injury away and he's like that guy that could have been, the best, right? It's like especially in today's game where you see so many injuries, way more injuries. Back when they had the 4-man rotation, you did not see the arm injuries that you see today. It is the 5-man rotation and the bullpen that are just killing these guys.
It's also that the velocity's really picked it up as well. Like back in the early 2010s and even before that, it was like a 93, 94 fastball. Now you've got guys, if you're not throwing 97, 98, you're not going to make the team. So, I think that's got to play a part.
Well, what about Nolan Ryan?
Nolan Ryan
never had
he
never had that.
No.
Never had it.
I'm saying
Gibson.
when you have more pitchers throwing like that, you're going to have more injuries.
How about Bob Gibson? Never had a problem. These guys just never had a problem. Back in the way back, which we don't even know how fast these guys threw. I mean, these guys pitched every day.
50 miles per hour. Used to throw tons in.
You think Walter Johnson threw 50 miles an hour and got 500 wins throwing 50 miles an hour?
50, but he's not. I mean, these guys were known for throwing the 30-mile-per-hour curveballs into the dirt. I mean,
wow.
Romanelli doesn't know about those guys.
Wow.
Walter Johnson. You don't know about Walter Johnson either.
Well, what about Randy Johnson? What about Randy Johnson? He didn't have any arm problems either, and he pitched way more than these guys.
This generation's also kind of soft, so.
I mean, Randy Johnson better than any of these guys.
And yeah, not only what Ron just said that is soft, but it's also the trainers and stuff and the teams, the organizations just trying to take care and lengthen their players' careers as long as they can, I think. And back in the day, yeah, those guys wouldn't say like, "Oh, my arm hurts, pull me out the game," or anything like that. No, they play through all that shit. So, excuse me, but yeah.
Yeah, you never see 20-game winners anymore. And the Orioles had 4 of them. Or was it the Tigers had 4 of them on one team? They had a 30-gamer and 3 20s, right? One team, or the Orioles too, right? Jim Palmer with, they had a sick rotation back then. Steve Stone.
Well, that's like what Al say. Back then you would see your trainers would tell you you better get out there, you better pitch. Nowadays, they're babying them. Oh, you okay? You got a scratch on your arm? Oh, scratch. You need to take off 2 weeks.
Yep, that's how they do it. Blister. Lupinella, partially responsible for ruining this game. And, Tony La Russa, of course, took it to the next level, and basically is why we have the new rules that we have, where the guy has to stay in the game, because he basically changed pitchers every pitch. But Lupinella, is the guy that came up with the idea with the 3 pitchers down the stretch. The Nasty Boys, when they beat, when they won the World Series, beat Oakland, right? Rob Dibble and I can't even tell you who the other Nasty Boys. Norm Charlton was one of them. Who was the other Nasty Boy? Who was the third Nasty Boy?
Didn't he go on to pitch for the Yankees after the Reds? I forget.
Who were the Nasty Boys? They were, I know it was Rob Dibble and Norm Charlton. The Nasty Boys were
Brian Snobs and
Randy Myers, Norm Charlton. Yeah, Randy Myers is the guy you're thinking of. He pitched for a bunch of teams, the Mets, I think, too. Norm Charlton, Rob Dibble, and Randy Myers, the 1990 Nasty Boys. That was a good team, man.
It was a good, but it was one of the least popular World Series winners of that era.
Didn't they beat Canseco and McGuire?
Yeah.
They beat Canseco and McGuire, right, in the World Series. Yeah, Lupinella. That was his big thing. But anyways, where are we at? Jovan, you're up on these games, or does Al Nino give out his -275 on the Angels yet?
I think it was no. I haven't given mine.
-1?
No, that's too rich for the -1 there. But you can't do the -1 with the Mariners, though. That's probably the one I'll give out here on the show. So, Mariners -1 for me.
All right, sticking his neck out a little bit there. Jovan, what do you?
So I'll take the under in the Dodgers Padres game. I think that's gonna be a nice low scoring affair. And I also take the under in the Royals Mariners game. The Mariners, they can't hit lefties, and the Royals just can't hit. They can't produce runs. 2.69 runs per 9 innings, and I like my chances even with this 7.5 run total on that one. So,
Ron.
This is that Dodgers Padres game. I've been going back and forth. I want to be able to take the Padres, but 2 things are kind of holding me back a bit. A, I don't think you're getting a great enough price. You're only getting about even money with the team. Dodgers are on an absolute tear right now. And B, I'm just not a huge fan of Yu Darvish right now. His strikeouts numbers are fine, but he's not really pitching as well as we've seen him in the past. And the Dodgers have obviously been great against right-handed pitching this season. So the weather looks to be the wind's going to be blowing in. So I don't really want to make a play on the over. Tyler Anderson going for the Dodgers has pitched well, but the Padres can get the left-handed pitching, and I don't know how long Tyler Anderson is going to be able to keep up this start to the year. So it's really just a back-and-forth game for me. I would lean towards the Padres in the first 5 innings at least. I think they can get to Anderson early, but just the last 3 games I'm not crazy about.
How about you, Brian?
For me, I think the books would really don't want you on the Angels here. That price is absolutely outrageous. But I think if you lay the 1.5 here, you get it down to -140. Not a great juice number, but I think I'm going to take the Angels here. Watkins is pitched is due to get blown up. I'm going to take the Padres over the Dodgers. They hurt me last night. Took the Padres run line, and they just folded like a cheap suit after the 5th inning. I think they get the W here, even with Yu Darvish on the mound. So those are the 2 games I like. Angels -1.5 and Padres money line.
Well, I bet against the Dodgers every game, so that includes this one. I really don't like the way the Padres looked last night, to be honest with you. They were terrible. They got out to that early lead, and that was pretty much the end of it. But yeah, I'm gonna take them here anyway because I go against the Dodgers every game. Our audience wouldn't respect me if they
We're
did.
getting the question about who is the pitcher for the Dodgers tonight. Would you care to tell the audience who the pitcher is for the Dodgers tonight?
It is
Tyler Anderson.
Yeah, Tyler Anderson, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I guess they had never heard of him. So
Former Pirate, former Mariner.
Yep, he's been around the block a couple times.
yeah, interesting pickups on the pitching rotation for the Dodgers this season.
And so far, they're working out. I'm really surprised at Andrew Heaney. I can't believe. I mean, now he's injured, but he looked like a completely different pitcher.
I wanted to throw out a NBA prop. I know I missed when I was talking about the Raptors Sixers game, but I've been doing these on drive-through if you've seen, and we've been just missing by just a couple points. Last night I gave out Chris Paul to get 30. It's plus 600. He got 28. The night before I gave out Klay Thompson to get 30. He got 27. I look for Embiid to go off today, and I like Embiid to get 40 points. It's plus 700 for Embiid to get 40 points. I mean, he's dominating in this series, and I look for him, to dominate the game tonight. And with the value at plus 700, I mean, I'm putting my money on it. I see Embiid, talking to Drake there at the end of the game when he made that buzzer beater. I think he told him he was looking for the sweep. I think he comes out hungry. And I think Embiid can get 40 points the coming times he did in the regular season. And then get odds like that, plus 700. It's sucking me right in. I'm hammering it.
Any props for you, Brian?
No props, but I got a parlay.
Okay, go for it.
Well, I'm going to parlay up the Detroit Tigers there in Game 2. I'm going to take the Oakland Athletics on the money line combined with the Milwaukee Brewers on the money line, plus money there.
How about you, Ron?
No props and no parlays, but I'll mention the Giants, San Francisco Giants. If you want to get some nice plus money, I'd lay 3.5 runs. I could certainly see this game being a similar score line as we saw yesterday, that 7-1 final. So I'll lay 3.5 with the Giants.
How about you, Jovan?
Yeah, I'll give out a nice undercard. Little 3-teamer. Miami, Atlanta under. Dodgers, Padres under. Royals, Mariners under.
Al Niños.
Giants -1. Mavs plus the points. I'm struggling. Oh, and Oakland Ace money line.
James Clark.
I think I missed that one actually when we went through the game, so I like that one quite a bit.
James Clark, anything for you outside of the NBA prop on Embiid?
Well, I got another prop that I really like. I do a lot of these NBA props that I like. I like if Luka plays. I don't know if he is. Look at his points, guys, because I look for Luka to come out hungry. He may not play. Parlay. I think parlay it up with the Embiid's over, and also John Morant. Mills gave us out the other night for John Morant to get over his assist. It was 7.5. I look for him to get 10, guys. I hit the other night for him to get 10. It's plus money, 250. So, look, like I said, look for Luka to play. If you don't play, you just parlay these two. I look for Embiid to get over his points, and Morant to get 10 or more assists, and Luka to get over his points if he does play.
I think I like Peralta on the Diamondbacks to hit a home run here against Trevor Williams. Probably get nice odds on something like that. Trevor Williams just sucks. I don't even understand it. Minus 160? You're kidding me. And I think as far as bombs go, I think that there's several spots here to bomb your book. So I have plenty of those plays in today, and I'm still getting them together. I have to put those in late. But anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. Been a fun show. Always fun having everybody here. We'll be back tomorrow, and let's make it a winning day.